Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you all so much for being here. Let me see who was here first. Lady Metatrons, thank you very much for being here. And Carlene Beckford, thank you. Good night, Baron and Sussex Squad. All right, good night to you too. Paulette Claw, thank you for being here. Bunny Rose, Rosalie Lindsay, Sharon Augustine, Lady Metatrons, and the host of Connie Bomber. You know I wasn't going to skip past that one. Hey, Connie Bomber. Thank you for being here. Okay, let me grab my slides. I think I bit off a little bit more than I could chew tonight. I don't know what that little voice inside of me that says, but what about this and what about that? But sometimes I think I go a little bit too far, but I go wherever the news takes me. So here we are. I'm going to try to get through these in like an hour and a half, I hope. Yeah, I think I'm going to start like limiting things to an hour because although I'm enjoying it, it is a bit much, I think. Okay, so Harry and Meghan news, of course. House of Windsor falling apart. The signs are present. And of course, what are they hiding? And of course, we're going to have to carefully walk through that one. But what are they hiding? Somebody's hiding something. There's been just some weird stuff to think about. Like, I think all of that talk, well, maybe I should do that later. But well, okay, I'll just say this. I think all of that talk about who's taking off from work and who's not coming back for a while may have backfired because now we're taking our work home with us. We're going to lay in the bed and do our work, and we're just going to work. We're going to recover and work all at the same time. That's really saying a lot when one considers that it never really appeared that there was being much work done in the first place when you consider exactly how many engagements that someone has in a year. I mean, these are modern times, and when you have a staff of 60, the idea that you can skate by with, let's say at the most, 3 months' work out of a year for an institution that takes in 345 million pounds a year, right? Your household has a staff of 60. And yet, not only, actually, between two people, they still do not add up to a full work schedule, an 8-hour shift, 5 days a week, most days of the year. I'm going to throw some vacation in there. But there's 52 weeks in a year, correct? And most Americans are lucky if they have 2 weeks paid vacation. So, there are corporate CEOs, right? People that were talented managers that go and turn a company around and they make huge sums of money every year. They make huge sums of money. And then they get what they call the golden parachute. Like even if they bankrupt the company, they still walk away with like $100 million or something like that. But those are people who have a set talent when it comes to industry. But the royals, they want you to believe that in a fairer world, that Charlie Windsor or any of the rest of that lot could have been born into any circumstance. This is what we have to believe, that any of those people on that balcony have the capability of taking the most insignificant, let's say, fish and chip shop and turning it into a global brand or something like that, right? Any of those people right there could have developed the Filet-O-Fish sandwich and become the world's most famous, if not I'm going to say largest. I think McDonald's is still the largest fast food chain, right? Maybe the largest outside of China. I don't know. But the largest fast food chain in the world, right? And that started back in 1950 something with the McDonald brothers in California. And it was Ray Kroc who took the little burger stand and turned it into the global superpower. I would be hard pressed to believe that any person on that balcony, whether it's Charlie, Willie, Andy, Eddie, well, let me see, Andy's not there. I would find it hard to believe that any of those people, and that includes Afro Annie, I don't know that any of them would ever have the talent to do something like that. But yet, but yet, 66 million people for the price of a cup of coffee a day. That's the what they say. For the price of a cup of coffee a day, are able to keep that family safely ensconced in 20 something palaces, houses, and castles. That is what we're led to believe. Now, the fact that it's falling apart right now, do not confuse what I'm saying. The House of Windsor is going nowhere. They're going to be there for another however many years. And that's just the fact. They're not going anywhere. Their influence on society may lessen, but they'll still be around. And there will still be some sycophants and royalists who will line up to bow before them. So, yeah, they're not going anywhere. Okay. So right here, the Express, yes, that Express, hot and girlfriend, huh? Well, yeah. Hot and girlfriend are some of the online search terms that are used when searching this royal, according to new research. Prince Harry certainly seems to have an army of fans who haven't let his antics, they have to throw some shade in there, affect his attractiveness. The Duke of Sussex has been named the most attractive royal in the world rather overwhelmingly. So I had to pick and choose parts of the article to share with you because they were trying to throw shade. And of course, they were trying to lump him with his sick old man uncle. And, and that's a constant theme, is that they would like to compare someone who ran for his life trying to protect his family to someone who has had questionable influence over people and, exercising power that they were not entitled to. And because of I have to avoid certain language, but let it suffice to say that is a sick old man, as he was called during his mother's funeral. Andrew, you're a sick old man. Disgusting. That one. So, anyway, the Duke of Sussex has been named the most attractive royal in the world. Rather overwhelmingly, the research has found that over the last 12 months, searches for Prince Harry's name, look at it, I got his name stuck in my mouth, names and terms hot and girlfriend have combined volume of 107,920 searches, which trump other royals on the list. Now, obviously, the list reflects a small pool of people, 107,000, but be that as it may, either way you slice it, Harry comes out on top. And that's all we care about. Harry comes out on top. And William is supposed to be second. Trust me, it's not a close second. Now, where this the numbers come from, I'm not clear about that. But, sometimes I feel like the Express wants to just throw a little nugget at the squatties just to keep them engaged. But I have no doubt that this is valid. But either way, who cares? As long as Harry comes out on top. And yes, Harry is considered the more attractive man in the family. And that's just a fact. Now, Angela Levin, living troll Dow, Angela Levin. Angela Levin, as usual, has a lot to say. As a matter of fact, she's got too much to say. Um, Stop trying to change our country. If it's uncomfortable for you, you never play it again. Others will doubtless come forward. Now, she's got a bug up her behind because Shaku Kenna Mason is not a fan of rural Britannia. Rural Britannia is offensive to him. As a matter of fact, it's offensive to a lot of people. The song is supposed to stir up patriotism as you regale everyone with your banter and song of the old days of empire. Empire and I would say white supremacy go hand in hand. You really can't have one without the other when you consider any of the Western, Western European nations or any part of European nations. When you think of empire on the scale of Britain, it wasn't just conquering your neighbors, it was going to the other side of the world and setting up outposts and governments and theft of resources and exploitation, if not the total theft of human beings. That's what empire is. And so there's nothing about that song that should excite people. Those days are over with. The Queen reigned over the dismantling of the old British Empire. It's gone. And truth is, it was replaced by the United States. It was very clear after the Second World War. Franklin Roosevelt made it very clear to Churchill. People love to celebrate Churchill like he's some type of deity or something, but Churchill had to go hat in hand to Franklin Roosevelt, who let him know who was boss and that the days of the old British Empire is gone. We will help you save that island, but we are not going to help you save your empire. As evident by the fact that by, the 1960s, most of it was gone. Most of it was gone. So there you go. And to replace it, they tried to come up with something called the Commonwealth. So that way, just like France, you can have this impression that you still control things. And mind you, and in some cases, they do put their little puppet governments in. But essentially, the days of the European Empire is over. And that song should be retired because it conjures up a lot of hurt feelings and a lot of imagery that, and you know what? Keep singing it. That's okay. Keep singing it. Keep reminding people about reparations. That's okay. Keep singing it. But Shaku Kenna Mason is not going to sit around and enjoy it. Or should I say, he's not going to sit around and tolerate it. The last time he did a concert, I believe they said that he just got up and left. Right there in the very small print, you can see, what does it say there? Oh, okay. It said, oh my goodness, that's even worse. Let me blow it up. Let me blow this up because I can't see a thing. Oh man. All right. All right. All right. I got it. I didn't realize it was so small until just now. And now I'm just like, what the what? Okay. So it says, Shaku Kinemason says, performance of patriotic anthem makes him feel uncomfortable. As well, it should. It makes him feel uncomfortable. And so he's not going to play it. And I believe the last concert, he decided rather than, wince or gnash his teeth, he performed. And then when it came time for Rule Britannia, he decided, okay, exit stage left. All right. And Connie Balmer, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. And thank you for staying up with us. And thank you for the love from Switzerland. Greatly appreciate it. All right. So, right here it says, replying to the barrage of racism against my son, Shaku Kinemason, this week, so many feel it's okay to call for deportation, flogging, sending him back to Africa, and to use the N word against someone trying to engage in a conversation about music and inclusion. Horror, rage, heartbreak. So that's his mom right there, Dr. Kenna Mason. And she is very upset, as well she should be. I mean, that's her son. Her child is being threatened because of this song that is, supposed to bring about feelings of patriotism. But the song really is insulting to anyone whose ancestors have been snatched from the bosom of their motherland and taken off someplace, or those who may have died in the North Atlantic or South Atlantic Sea, whatever. Um, it is it's a song. The United States national anthem is a song about war, and some people find it offensive. I get it, and I believe a lot of countries, their national anthems are about war. Well, in Britain is God Save the King or Queen, but to stir up patriotism, they use Rule Britannia. For us, our patriotic song is God Bless America or This Land is Your Land and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, everybody's got songs, good and bad, but he does not want to participate in that one. And there will come a day when that song is going to disappear. Just like those Confederate flags, which were supposed to be about Southern pride, they're less and less tolerated year by year. And this song, Rule Britannia, at some point is going to disappear. So in 100 years, it will be just a footnote of history. I promise you that. So anyway, what a shame that this very talented kid has found himself threatened by a bunch of monarchists and royalists and EDLs and so on and so forth. Now, back to that person right there. In her, pursuit of being a know-it-all, I think they are going to regret rolling out that little hobbit and putting that thing on television so often. Bingo, said one of the squaddies. We called it squad. Kate had a nervous breakdown, allegedly. Thanks for confirming for Angela 11. You clown, you can't even hold water for your favorite royals. Now, that is a squatty that I just discovered not long ago. Lydia, you probably would know who I'm speaking of. Actually, I don't know if I ever told you who she was, but she has a bit of a sharp tongue, and I love her for that. So anyway, let's not just assume that is what happened. However, WTF. Angela Levin says 15-year-old Prince William had to deal with, well, actually, I have the sound bite. Let me see if I can grab that sound bite. Had to deal with, you know what? I think I prefer a sound bite. I would prefer the sound bite. I hope I saved it. Now I'm starting to doubt myself, but I hope I saved it. But yeah, she has a bad case in foot and mouth disease. That one. Um. Oh lordy, I don't think I. Oh well, it won't take me but a second to find it. Would it? Well, would it? Would it? Hmm. Oh, you know what? That's because I did not save it. I did not save it. Um. I don't know if, but I know I heard it. So, I would rather you hear her say it. It's just better for effect. It is much better for effect. Mm, yep. Oh.
I think that he goes back to his own mother when he became what she called the man of the house, and he had to deal with her mental illnesses and crying and screaming, and he'd put tissues under the bathroom door when she locked herself in to help her. And I think he took that responsibility on when he was only 15 and didn't quite know what to do. But here he's a mature man, and he will know that his priority is to look after his wife. But for something like that, I think that he goes back to his own mother when he became what she called the man of the house, and he had to deal with her mental illnesses and crying and screaming, and he'd put tissues under the bathroom door when she locked herself in to help her. And I think he took that responsibility on when he was only 15 and didn't quite know what to do. But here he's a mature man, and he will know that his priority is to look after his wife.
Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm not saying? Like I said, what are they hiding? Um, Princess Diana's mental illness and Diana crying and screaming. But now that he is mature, Willie will know how to deal with Kate Middleton. UK press just trashed Diana, but raised more questions about Kate's health. Got it? Okay, I'm sure you got it. While just thinking how these racist press and right wing politicians emboldening races makes my blood boil. Lady Bird, and it should. It really should. Because, Carolita Simone, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for being here tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Or this morning, depending on where you are. But yeah, I think someone just let the cat out the bag. Now, it doesn't mean that she knows anything. She may have just been speaking in a very general way. And it doesn't mean exactly that. But absent any other explanation, then what could it possibly be? What could it possibly be? Now, there's more. There's more. And again, this is all speculation. Nobody knows for sure exactly what's going on. Although the American media seems to have questions as well, but out of respect, they are being very discreet. They're being very discreet. They're just asking the questions real loud so that you can fill in the blanks yourself. Got it? Got it. Okay. So, um, we know that the what is the name of that place? The London Clinic. The London Clinic. I'm sure there's a variety of things that they're known for, It seemed like a 4-star hotel where one may convalesce. But did you know that that very same place where someone just had stomach surgery also has mental health support? Did you know that? I'm just saying they have mental health support. Yeah, this thing that is unspeakable that for the sake of privacy, we know about Charles and what his situation is, but this one, using the excuse of family, we have to keep this one under wraps, and they would they would appreciate people respecting their privacy. And so they went all out trashing Harry and his award, right? They've gone all out doing that as though they want us to look at the shiny object over there instead of over here. So, all I could say to you guys is come to your own conclusions or none at all. You don't have to decide anything, you don't have to assume anything. But if you do the math, and you know the math does not lie, the math does not lie. So, that nosy old buzzard, Angela Latrine, maybe she just has an opinion. Maybe she just has a theory. Maybe she doesn't know anything, or maybe she knows something. As a matter of fact, just like when a lot of things happen in that family, it's common knowledge among the smart set, not that she's one of them, but with common folk, most people are clueless because the very close knit Fleet Street rags tend to keep things undercover. So I will just say one last time, what are they hiding? The one thing we know for sure is that a 42-year-old woman in this age of skin treatments, lotion to keep hydrated, we're drinking more water than ever. This 42-year-old woman is aging rapidly before our eyes. Um, and a curiously thin build on top of that. Morbidly curious thin build. So we can all pretend otherwise, but something is going on. And even if there was a surgery, I'm pretty sure a lot of it was manifested by everything that has led up to that. It's not an easy life. It's not an easy life. But I'm not offering a free pass because those two on the right have been cruel and bitter and spiteful, and they did everything they could to run the Sussexes out of the country. So if that's what victory looks like, I would rather lose that competition and move to a beautiful mansion in Montecito where there are no leaks. I'd rather live in Montecito. Black Queen says, Baron, how does one do work from laying in bed asking for a friend? Well, Black Queen, thank you for the super chat. The last person in that family that was doing work from bed died through the night, right? Or became, took a turn for the worse through the night. So I would advise anyone in that family who has decided they are going to do work from bed, they're going to take their red box in the bed. I would suggest you don't wait until you're better, and just do like you've always done. Let the staff do it. They will tell you where to stand, what to do, what to wear, and who to greet, and life goes on as normal. But you know what? Like I was saying, Black Queen, that was only brought up because, and if there's anything I know about the British people are very fickle. They will love you to death, but you better work. If you're supposed to work for us, you're supposed to work for us. Did you guys ever see on Downton Abbey the way the staff treated poor Mr. Bates when they saw that he was using that cane, and they just said flat out, we are not going to help you. How are you going to work here with that gimpy leg? How are you going to work here? There was no sympathy for him whatsoever. And Prince Philip said that the houses of Europe collapsed because of the people. Not the people that were against the royal family, but the ones that loved the royal families were the one that drove them from power. And that's why I say fickle. Even though there's so much love and admiration for the royal family, notice how people were outraged because they interrupted television for Prince Philip. Notice how people were outraged because of this prolonged mourning period for the Queen. Notice how people were outraged. Once in 70 years, they had a coronation, and people were having a meltdown from everything from portraits of the king to coloring books for children. So there isn't this overwhelming sympathy for Will and Kate. The papers are trying to drum up this sympathy, but it just doesn't exist. And that's why they said, well, she's going to do her work from bed. They said that. Well, Will was going to cure homelessness and bring world peace and peace to the Middle East. And he was going to get rid of all of the ivory, and he's going to clean up the planet. They could say a lot of these things, but in practice, well, we all know what happens in practice. Much to do about nothing. So again, what are they hiding? What are they hiding? Don't know, but I know what's available over at the London Clinic, among other specialties. But we know what's available at the London Clinic. Okay, that's it. Well, this has been brewing for a while. Whatever it is or it isn't, it has been brewing for a while. My only hope is that when things are better, I hope they come out a more considerate, thoughtful person. As they say, all that glitters is not gold. The term gilded cage comes to mind. If that's indeed what's going on, it may be exactly what they said it is. There was a surgery on her stomach, and that's that. You know, I didn't want to believe that they would make up something like that. I didn't want to believe it because I thought that would be asking a medical facility to do something that is so far removed from their mission, right? First and foremost, you're supposed to heal. And of course, there is the Hippocratic Oath. You're going to keep quiet about things. But if there is something else happening, then that would mean that they're asking professional people to lie. And I don't want to believe that medical professionals will lie. Now, some of you all pointed out, and rightly so, that some of these institutions know how to word things that leave it quite ambiguous. And of course, the royals have always had the ability to keep private their medical situation. So keeping things private is one thing, but I've never known any situation with the royals where people lied for them. I've never heard of that. But people still believe that all of this started in December. All of this started in December. And then you fast forward to the news the other day. And of course, the very bizarre thing, about Charles and his up and coming procedure. They could have just as easily have kept that, but it seems as though it was introduced to distract from the other. And then also, I just thought about this. Whatever Charles is having done, I mean, it's not an emergency. They may have been hanging on to that information for a long time, right? I mean, because he always looks like he's got some kind of discomfort below the belt. Um, he's been looking like that for about 20 years now. So maybe they've been hanging on to that information for a long time. And then when this came out, they decided, oh, well, I tell you what, let's distract him with that, shall we? Leg says Kate thought that Adelaide was a sanctuary. However, it was a place away from the prying eyes of Kensington Palace staff. Ooh, that's deep. That's deep. That's deep. Yep, that is deep because what is that paper or is it a magazine? Marca, that one from Spain. They seem to be of the opinion that it may be more like a movie of the week situation. Yeah, it may be. It's not a Hallmark movie. I tell you that it's not a Hallmark movie. Quite different. It's the other direction. So yeah, is it called Marca? Marca? Is it? They seem to think that their things are far more grim than anybody's anticipated. So, but they're hiding something. There's something they don't want people to know. Obviously, I mean, not that I'm some kind of like shaman or what do you call that, a prophet or something like that, because they have already said that they're not going to tell you what it is. But what it is not restricted to one person. What it is, it seems like a problem in the household. That's what that seems like. It may not just be a physical thing. And it's a possibility it could be both physical and mental. You just never know. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Uh-oh. So right here, Princess of Wales is to be out of action until Easter, at least. Let me see. So if that's at least, then what's the most? What will the royal family do without her? That's a good question. What will the royal family do without her? Well, so far, other people will get more attention. That's for sure. Nobody else can do the Princess of Wales job. Yeah, nobody else can do the Princess of Wales job. Um, I used to kid when they say that I had a job one time. They said, everything's going to be automated. They may replace us with machines. Uh-huh. Well, if they find a machine that can snack at its workstation, if they can find a machine that will gossip, that will blurt out singing old Motown songs, take frequent naps, make frequent trips to the bathroom and the vending machine. If they got a machine that can do that, then yes, I'm replaceable. But until someone invents that machine, then my job is safe. And then somebody said, they're going to send your job overseas. Okay. If there's someone in China that gossips and sleeps at his workstation, that got snacks frequently, make frequent trips to the bathroom and the vending machine and use the company phone, if there's someone in China that can do all of those things, then yes, I can be replaced. But until someone invents something like that, my job is quite safe. Sawboss TV says Kate is probably on a, what is that, a 52502 week hold, allegedly. Um, there's that possibility, as we said, that that place has that available. So, again, this is all speculation. Nobody knows for sure. The palace said that there was a surgery, so we have to assume that the palace is telling the truth. I mean, they always tell the truth, don't they? They don't make up stuff. Thank you so much for your super chat. Yeah, they don't make up stuff. Never have, never will. So, as for nobody else being able to do the Princess of Wales job, I guess we'll never know. Maybe there will never be another Princess of Wales. Although, I have to say, technically, the Duchess of Cornwall was the Princess of Wales, not in name, but she was married to the Prince of Wales, and she went out on official engagements with the Prince of Wales. And, you know, she styled herself the Duchess of Cornwall, but the truth is, she was a princess of the realm as well as the Princess of Wales. They just didn't call her that out of respect to the, prior former late Princess of Wales. So, yeah, for that reason, nobody called her that, right? And then when Charles became king, she was supposed to style herself Princess Consort out of respect for Princess Diana. But then somewhere they cornered that old lady right there and made her an offer she couldn't refuse. And next thing you know, she's on TV telling people, yeah, call her Queen Consort. Call her the Queen Consort. Yeah, do me a favor and refer to her as the Queen Consort. And what happened? Even that changed in the 11th hour. So, okay. Now, let's move on to something else. This is quite troubling rather. Um, Lost Duke, this is your future, Harry, having a selfie with a fake royal like Prince Mario Max at a minor bash with D-list crowd. Wow. Harry may not have known who he was posing with, but experts say it is the sort of association that could prove damaging as the Sussexes try to build media careers. You guys, if you take a look at that article, this person, Prince Mario Max, is posed for a photo with Jeff Bezos, right? So you could say, well, he just got lucky, and that he's clout chasing. Yeah, he probably is a clout chaser, but that doesn't matter. He also works very hard, and if that is what he's doing, then he works hard at that. But whatever the case is, they were wrong about him. They were wrong about him, and I'll show you that in just a minute. But let me continue with what's on the right side here. When you thought the British media couldn't go any lower, the breaking news in the UK is Prince Harry took a selfie with a fake prince. According to the envious British media, the likes of John Travolta, Morgan Freeman, and Kenny G are all D-list celebrities, rather than the British media concentrating on the failing health of UK royals. They are here watching what Prince Harry is doing. They are so upset because they didn't get to print the ready-made story on the Duchess of Sussex. Typo there. Next, they will tell you this. I'm sorry, they are irrelevant. Now, that quote is from one of the squatties, but I'm protecting the privacy of her social media. But that quote was from one of the squatties, and I agree tenfold. I agree tenfold. The thing is, they have upset Prince Mario Max. They have really upset him. It's not so much that Harry has had his life turned upside down because of this, because We know for Harry, this is par for the course. This is the way things are. It's become a fact of life. But right here, Prince Mario Max Schomburg Leaps, mother, Dr. Princess Antonia, asked Carolyn Graham to step down from Daily Mail after fake news campaign against Prince Mario Max and Prince Harry. Yes, you heard me, fake news campaign. Prince Harry won an award bestowed by fellow aviators, had a chat with Mario Max, who congratulated him, and then both became the target of an unprecedented hate campaign launched by Carolyn Graham. Her article is a pure character assassination as she questions Mario Max's name, Prince Mario Max's name, in her article, despite receiving the certified government documents beforehand proving the royal heritage of Prince Mario Max's name. Graham blatantly ignored the fact so that she could fabricate her own story. She gave a jealous hater with the same last name a platform to bully Prince Mario Max. She even elevated this hater into a fictitious, non existent position as head of the family. Such a position does not exist in German law. Prince Waldemar always strongly distanced himself from those delusional megalomaniac Schomburg lips. It would compare to one Graham disses other Grahams and makes herself the one and ultimate Graham. Stay away from Carolyn Graham if you are interested in serious journalism. Princess Antonia states, I am a lawyer, politician, and journalist, and her conduct violates journalistic standards. Hate articles, bullying, and fake news have no space in serious journalism, Miss Graham. So, Mario Max is a prince, and the article states that he is a self styled prince. He is nothing of the sort. He is a royal prince from one of the several principalities in Germany or Austria or Germany. Well, one or the other. But anyway, Prince Waldemar distanced himself from lifelong from non-royal Danish ancestry, Lower German Schomburg Leap line. In other words, one part of the family or namesake, they are royals and the other are not. But they take advantage of the fact that they have the same surnames, I suppose, that loves to target Prince Mario Max family to get their 5 minutes in the news is obscure, that they present themselves, I think that should be obscene, right? Present themselves as elevated commentators, being not even of the same rank as Prince Waldemar was. Miss Graham fell for it. So, in other words, somebody made a fool of Carolyn Graham. She was perfectly abused by bully Prince Mario Max's family with her fake news story. There is no head of any or superiors Schomburg leaps under German law. Oh, yeah. In the article, there was someone who said that he was the head of the family. There is no head of the family. And she blindly fell into a fabricated narrative despite having government documents about the legacy and names of the real Prince Mario Max Schomburg Leaps family in her hands. It is disturbing how Graham harvested her editorial position and abused it to run this nonsense. Dr. Mario Max Prinz of Schomburg Lips is in Los Angeles is a Los Angeles-based lawyer, journalist, and Screen Actor Guild, AFTRA, whatever that is, equity and AG something host and actor. So in other words, he's in entertainment. Out of hundreds of appearances and airings of what is it, 150 own news segments and IMDb, Graham selected one 10-year-old entertainment gig, like hosting a tele-shopping fragrance line. It was like the Home Shopping Network, and a celebrity Big Brother appearance for her spotlight. As a member of the LA Press Club, the Austrian Press Club, Screen Actors Guild, something else, etc., the family calls the level of journalism of Carolyn Graham very painful. We would advise anyone to stay away from this woman. Interesting fact about the Graham story is also she selected social media comments. Well, of course, that's what the tabloids do. They love to grab those social media comments. Graham selected two trolls' comments instead of quoting the dozens of comments pro Prince Harry to manipulate the facts. Most of the commentators are highly alert about the tabloid campaign against Prince Harry and anyone being seen talking with him. The prestigious Living Legends of Aviation Award could have definitely not stooped any lower than having Carolyn Graham present, giving a jealous hater of Prince Waldemar, Dr. Princess Antonia, and Prince Mario Max Schomburg-Lip's family a platform to bully and make the haters a big deal. Dr. Antonia Prison Schomburg-Lips therefore called Carolyn Graham to urgently step down from her position of bureau chief of Daily Mail. Sunday, in Los Angeles, as her fictitious fabrications are more adequate for troll blogs than media websites. The fake news conduct has to stop immediately. Okay, so you know what? I'm sorry. You guys are just a little bit behind me. There you go. That's where I got that from. All right. Legs says either Carolyn Graham didn't get into the event or she is lying is a lying hack. Well, I guess the two things could be true. She didn't see Morgan Freeman when he was there. Thank you, Legs. You know, they may not know whether she was there or not. I'm pretty sure because Carolyn Graham is such a troll. Unless you're familiar with her, who would recognize her? You know what I'm saying? But she may have known someone on the inside and gotten a firsthand account from someone else who was there. But please take a look on your left side. That is a birth certificate. Unfortunately, this has upset the parents of Prince Mario Max, as well as Mario Max himself, that they decided to translate his government birth certificate, proving that he is a prince and that he was not adopted as I believe the article said he was adopted. But his last name has always been Prince Schomburg-Lip. His first name, Mario Max. You can see he was born in 1977. Birthplace, Salzburg, Austria. There you go. But yeah, that's his birth certificate. And there on the right is the original birth certificate with the eagle and all that kind of stuff. What a shame that it had to come to this. What a shame that it had to come to this. But unfortunately, that is the world that we live in, that something as offensive as that would happen to someone who just posed for a picture with Prince Harry. It happens so often. Excuse me, let me drink some water. It happens so often that we're somewhat immune to it. We kind of expect this kind of low brow type of reporting, but even though Prince Mario Max has been in the media for quite some time, it totally caught him off guard. And all of those complimentary things that he said, not only about Harry, but about the royal family. And do you guys remember when he was talking and they said, "When did you first meet Prince Harry?" And he just totally skipped that one. He didn't even answer. He went on to compliment Harry and the royal family. That, of course, was a trap because anything that he would have said would have just made the situation that much worse. If there's anybody who's watching Royal Sussex for the first time, if there's anyone who's a deranger or you hate the Sussexes, do know how terrible this is. You might right now find yourself doing a victory lap or smoking a cigar because you feel like, oh, this is another opportunity for us to have a win. But at what price? What price? This is so damaging to someone who just took a picture with Harry. Of the thousands of people who have taken photos with him um, in his lifetime, if everyone was affected like this, the world would be in a state. It would be in a total state of collapse. This has to stop. Selfies has become part of our culture. It's a part of most cultures now to take a selfie. You have a president of the United States. He's an expert at taking selfies. It should not cause you to have to show your birth certificate. Isn't that what happened to Obama? He had to show his papers because a bully went on television day after day claiming that he was not an American. And people began to believe it. People began to believe it. Let's see. Deborah, thank you so much, Deborah, for the Cash App. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. And by the way, you guys, Deborah needs your prayers because Deborah is actually in the hospital right now and she's recovering from a surgery. So you guys, please pray for her. She needs all the prayer and positivity you can send her. This came totally out of the blue. And anyway, she's feeling better. She's in good spirits, but she's ready to go home. So your prayers would be greatly appreciated. B. Martim, I see I said she wasn't there. I said she wasn't there. Are you? Oh, you talking about Carolyn Graham. Thank you so much. Yeah, I wasn't clear about that, B. Martim. I was not clear about that. Um, yeah, truth is, I didn't even think about it so much. I was more triggered by the stuff that she said more than I was with the idea that she was there. I guess to me, it just didn't make a difference because, and if she was there, let me say this: if she was there, she would have tried to go in for a photo with Harry. You know that she would have tried to go in for a photo with Harry. That much I'm sure of, because for someone who does the things that she is capable of, um, it wouldn't be complete without a photo. You know what I mean? It would not be complete without that photographic evidence just to show that we can get to you if we so choose to. So I believe that if she was there, she would have definitely have taken a photo. She would have presented a photo of herself in the room. So it doesn't make sense that she was there if there is no photo. Yeah. That I have to say, um, it doesn't sound logical that she could have been there. And for those of you who are not sure who we're talking about, Carolyn Graham has written several negative stories about the Sussexes time and time again. And let's see, here she is. Carolyn Graham, that's her. They're on the left side. I do believe she's from Alabama or someplace like that. And you can see there, the article about Meghan running for the Senate. That article was designed to trigger the right wing, the Republicans, to build. The Republicans here in the United States, they don't care what Meghan's doing. Most of them don't care. You do have the uh, royalists. A lot of the Republicans, no matter what you say, they are not royalists. They don't care about the royal family. It's hard to get them emotionally connected to something that this country was established getting away from. That's a tough leap for most people. But they push the royal family in people's faces as though it's something. I mean, if the people in Canada could give a toss about the royal family, what do you think the Americans feel about the royal family? They have an overblown sense of importance with that institution, and it's just not that important. Not even over there. Lord knows it doesn't mean anything to us. But that article is part of a long-term campaign to create hostility against the Sussexes. And let me just tell you this: um, I don't pretend to feel things that I just don't feel. We're supposed to have all of this sympathy for someone who benefited from the torment of Meghan, who likely contributed to the torment of Meghan. And just like anybody living in a glass house, that person seems to have thrown one stone too many. And now they're in peril. Now they're in peril. I'm sorry, I don't feel anything. I don't feel anything. I'm numb to the subject. I don't. I couldn't pretend otherwise. I feel for her children. The children are truly innocent. But as for that person there, I don't have much sympathy. They're using their position. I mean, the whole Meghan made Kate cry, weaponizing the white woman tears for the destruction of the black woman, the woman of color, the American, whatever they want to say, whatever the predicates to hate. They weaponized her tears. The English rose tears were weaponized. Well, who's crying now? And who are they crying for? The institution may be cruel, but you know what? I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you something later. I thought about Kate when I saw this article, and I'll show it to you later. But anyway, that is what happened to Prince Mario Max, who is a real prince, even though they tried to say he was a self-styled prince. What a cruel thing to do. A self-styled prince. That coming from a self-styled royal expert, right? She who climbed Mount St. Thomas Marco, who allegedly climbed up that mountain of flesh and came down with a letter, allegedly. Talking about taking one for the team. Yeah. Too bad she's a Dixie. Go to hell. Go to hell. Too bad she is a Dixie. Go to hell. Go to hell. Go to hell. Oh, Lord. Anyway, go to hell. Let me get back over here. Well, there goes that monetization. I'm going to have to delete that from the video later. We'll see. But in the meantime, since I have to delete, go to hell. All right. That's too bad. This man had to show his birth certificate. Anyway, let's go on to something more pleasant. I need to cleanse my palate. Give me a second. So, you all have seen this painting for the past couple days, right? Um, it seems to be a bit abstract. It's not like hyper realism. It's not like a photograph. I've even seen a comment where some people said that it makes him look older. Well, lighting is everything. As I've said so many times, you really do have to consider the lighting. Anytime you see something, and yes, now with digital everything, colors are more accurate than ever, right? But the lighting is still a factor. So maybe up close and impersonal or standing at a distance, this painting takes on a whole different mood. So yeah, I can see why people say it makes him look older. But I think it's a good painting. And the artist that's working on it, you can tell it's a labor of love. I think he loves what he's doing and he does a good job. Um, and there you can see the brushstrokes that he's doing right there. Now, the helicopter does not exist in the original photo that he's working from, but he wanted to convey the spirit of the recipient of that award, the Living Legends of Aviation. So that makes sense. So there on your left, you can see Harry standing by the painting, and don't know if it was finished or not, but Harry had a good time the other night. And of course, there was all of these articles and speculation and everything, but we're kind of used to it. It wouldn't be the tabloid if they didn't orchestrate some kind of attack. But do not let that ruin your fun. That was a great night for Harry. Try to ignore all of these awful articles and everything because Harry is enjoying his best life, and chances are he's not aware of any of this stuff. And I think that a lot of people have become so desensitized that you have people that just say, "Oh, what are they making up now? Is this a slow news cycle?" That's how most people approach these articles. It's just a few wackos that believe everything that they see in print. And that is a problem, but don't let it be your problem. Enjoy this moment. Harry worked very hard for it, it's well deserved, and you should not let these tabloids overshadow that. Tina Carroll says, Baron, people in the magazine, a man stated that he had abdominal surgery last year, but didn't stay that long in there. And he said kids are not allowed unless the what is that? The matron okay it? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, Tina Carroll, I'm pretty sure everybody agrees that abdominal surgery or not, 2 weeks is a long time. Um, if someone had surgery the day before, the idea that they might be in the hospital 10 days or 14 days would mean that there was a complication. And I don't know that a complication would show up in 24 hours right after surgery or, literally the next day after surgery. You could even say 12, 14 hours after surgery, whenever it took place. If there was a complication from the surgery, how do you just know that there's going to be 10 days and that we're not going to see that person until April? It all sounds very strange. It all sounds very strange. But because they're not saying anything, we don't really know the difference for sure. We can just speculate. But I appreciate your comment. And, it does make a lot of sense. I mean, that is a long time. That is a long time. But we do know that that same clinic has other specialties. And I don't know, maybe it's a two for one. Maybe they're taking advantage of two different things. Or how do they say it? Both can be true at the same time. Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, thank you so much for your comment. But it makes a lot of sense what you just said. Um, like I had a family member had open heart surgery, And when they said that he was okay to go home, I could not believe it. One day, you're in the surgery. They have stopped your heart for 16 minutes while they create a new heart valve for you. And then a week later, you're on your way home. I don't know how that's possible, but it happened. And then you think with the royal family, with all of the resources they have available, back in the old days, didn't they used to do operations right there in the palace? Didn't George the fifth or sixth or whatever he was? Didn't he have his surgery right there? Who was the Queen's father? Was he George the sixth? He had his surgery right there in one of those big palatial rooms. They removed one of his lungs. So you can't tell me that they're not capable of putting something together at home. But these are modern times. The royals don't necessarily stay home anymore. They don't have the kids at home anymore. So, yeah, very strange, very strange. But I appreciate your comment. Thank you so much. Yeah, what is going on? So right there is the artist. You can see that Captain Wells signed it himself. Yep, Harry signed the back of the painting. So I guess that is a seal of approval. Now, from a distance, looking at his nose, it does seem, but I'm not sure. Maybe I think he is done with it. But again, in the lighting, in the light in the room, maybe it looks a little different. But still, I like it. I like it. And there's his name, Patrick Kane McGregor. That's some of his handiwork. Looks like he's done murals. Looks like he's done canvas. You name it. Looks like he's done it. And this is probably more exposure than he's had in a lifetime. Maybe, who knows? I've never heard of him before, but I like his work. And I guess that must be his specialty, is the bulldog. Oh, there's a pug there. Yeah. Oh, I see a French bulldog too. And I see a queen consort. I mean, a Rottweiler. A Rottweiler. Yeah, I see a Rottweiler. Rottweiler, not queen consort. Not to be confused with a queen consort. And here's another person. Okay, now see up close. I mean, the nose still does look a bit weird. I think I would have gone darker. But then if you look at the picture of Harry there on the right, his nose does kind of jut out at you right there. So yeah, he just painted what he saw. I like it. I like it. It's good. Now, one of the derangers decided that they would make fun of Prince Harry. They put Harry in one of those grocery store, shopping mall airplanes. You know, the kind you put the quarter in and it starts rocking back and forth and everything. Sometimes it's a horse, sometimes it's a car, and you go and you beg your parents, do you have a quarter? Do you have a quarter? And me, of course, as much as I love to edit, I wasn't having any of it. I said, so we want to play, huh? So I decided to retort. I decided to pay it forward by creating a Slick Willie version of it. Yes, I put Workshop Will in that same contraption. Yes, it didn't take much. But then I wasn't satisfied with that. I said, no, I think this only humanizes him. I want to degrade him as much as possible. Then I did that. Living Legends of Aviation, produced by the Kitty Hawk's Air Academy. And there's Prince William. And I think it really captures the real Willie. Yes. I think that captures the real Willie. So I'm going to have to add that to Twitter tonight so that everyone can enjoy it. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. So, yeah, since you want to mess with Harry, I'm going to mess with you. Right? Right. Take that, Willie. Or derangers. I had fun doing that, by the way. Now, which do you prefer? Which do you prefer? Self-made, hardworking, tax-paying Americans on the left, and born privileged, work-shy, non-tax-paying British on the right. Which do you fancy? The self-made or the well-born? Self-made or well-born? Who do you identify with? I am going to go with the richest man in the world and his incredibly smart, talented, action figure girlfriend. That's who I'm going to go with. You know, those images of the royals there on the right, you know, I've used that several times because it looks like an out of touch air hostess and three magicians, right? It looks like three medieval magicians and an out of touch air hostess. It looks like an air hostess in search of an airline. It's really depicts the royal family the way most people see them. And me being as petty as I am, even with everything going on, I couldn't resist. But then I couldn't stop there. I said, which do you prefer? Self-made. I give her this much. Lauren is wearing those dresses. She is definitely wearing those dresses. But these are the D-listers. And you guys, listen, Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, they are both in Hollywood productions. Jeff Bezos owns Amazon. Amazon Prime, Prime that is, produces content, movies, and such. So he belongs in those spaces. And I don't know how you consider someone like that a D-list. And as for Lauren Sanchez, she's had a career long before she met Jeff Bezos. You know, there's some little over 8 billion women in the world, and that's the one that he chose to be with. So why insult career women, mothers, American women, Americans? Why insult them by going after Jeff Bezos? And it's not that everybody's crazy about him, but what has he done with his life? What has he built from nothing compared to just being an accident of birth? Because I promise you, if anybody had a chance to choose who would be sovereign right now, would they have chosen someone that's wearing cherry lip gloss, hands like catcher's mitts, childbearing hips, and ears like the Hubble telescope? Who would choose that? This man has satellite dishes for ears. The only reason why we don't notice it anymore is because his face has caught up to it. He's got that rosacea nose. Who would have selected this specimen to lead a nation or to reign over a nation? Not me. Or what if the other egg had fallen first? Huh? What if this was the case? You get my point. You get my point. I hope so. Let me see here. Black Queen says, Baron, judging from Willie's expression, there must be a pegging device in the seat of the kitty helicopter. Thank you so much for that, Black Queen. Let us go back and review that expression. Oh, behave. Oh, I see your point. I see your point. Let me see. Where was I here? And thank you so much, Black Queen. And YM Joy says, presenting the royal wizards, watch them turn a horse into a monarch and make hundreds of millions of pounds disappear faster than you can say feather. Yeah, he's even got his magic wand, right? Oh, thank you so much for that. Now, this is a different one. I think I did this yesterday. Yeah, I did this one the other day. But again, with the very anti-Americanism that they have been using because Harry received an award, I think they're messing with the wrong people. I really do believe they're messing with the wrong people. Fortunately for them, Jeff Bezos doesn't really care. Well, let me tell you something. Do you remember that time someone was trying to blackmail Jeff Bezos? They said that they had some photos of him, and much to everyone's shock, he said, "Go ahead and show him. Go ahead and show him." So, you know, if that's any indication of his character as a person, um, now you understand why he's in the position that he's in. So, okay. And of course, I'm wondering if Camilla was the same age there that Lauren Sanchez is today. Now, I'm not doing the math because I don't know how old Camilla was when she took that photo, but Camilla may have even been younger when she was walking down the street like a savage with her arms all, splayed out like that. Um, yeah. I wonder if Lauren Sanchez is actually older now than Camilla was then. Camilla reminds me of one of those backup dancers. Remember that video, Love is a Battlefield, with Pat Benatar, was it? Love is a battlefield. Yeah, if you remember that video and you saw those women in the background, that was all, But every time I see Camilla, I'm always thinking that. I've never said it before, but she looked like one of those dancers in the background of Love is a Battlefield. Let me see. B. Martin, Baron, Bishop Don Juan Charles, and his side piece. Well, people were saying at the time that Charles kind of looked like a pimp with that purple on, the purple and the fur hat and the fur cape and everything. The only thing that distracts from it are those little Debbie snack cake slippers that he's wearing. Or yesterday, who said those were leprechaun shoes? I love that one too. They do look like those leprechaun shoes with the big buckle. Oh boy, you guys got your knives out again. I love it. Love is a battlefield. And of course, one thing I'm pretty certain of, we are never going to see, and I do mean never, we are never going to see Lauren Sanchez dressed up like the Phantom of Versailles. I'm still trying to recover from Camilla going to Versailles looking like the Phantom of the Palace of Versailles when she wore that big blue tarp. Yep, that was a look with her wind-swept hair. They pulled that hair back away from her face. Why? I don't know whose idea that was, but they literally pulled that hair back up and back away from her face. Bet you they won't do that again. Also, just a little comparison since I'm being petty. On the left is the Royal Yacht Britannia. It's in dry dock. They have built a shopping mall next to it in Edinburgh, Scotland, right? And on the right, Jeff Bezos, not one, but two yachts. One is a revolutionary sailboat, and the other is your typical Bond character. Yeah, it reminds you of something that you would see in a 007 movie, but that's his other yacht. So that is what Jeff Bezos is rocking. Again, starting a book company, a bookshop, an online bookshop in his garage led to Amazon. Amazon was a bookseller. Amazon first put a lot of those mom and pop bookshops out of business. And then eventually they went into all sorts of retail. And like most people, there's that love-hate relationship with Amazon. Lord knows when, well, I do have the wish list. And thank you guys for buying some of the stuff that I put on the wish list. It is like the biggest rush when I see I got something in the mailbox. I'm just like, ooh, I wonder what that is. Even when I order stuff myself and I forget that I ordered it, that is when Amazon has come through. There have been some very foggy, cloudy days, and I forget that I ordered something from Amazon. And then there's a knock at the door, and I'm just like, hey, I forgot about that. Is that bad? I forgot about that. And then all of a sudden, I get that warm feeling inside. So, oh, by the way, you guys, please make sure that you subscribe, please, because we're like about 30 subscribers away from 50,000. It would be so cool to have 50,000 subscribers before I get off today. So please subscribe to Royal Sussex if you haven't. Make sure you do, because wouldn't that be cool? Like right now in this moment. Thank you, Church Nelly. I put the wish list at the top of the chat. But yeah, so if you can, please make sure you do subscribe to Royal Sussex. So that way we can cross over that threshold to 50,000. Oh, we're still 35 away? Yeah, we ain't gonna make that. But it'll happen at some point tonight. 35 subscribers away from 50,000. Whew! 50,000. And what, 1,600 videos? I think there's like 1,600 videos. 1,600 videos. What in the world have I talked about all this time to get 1,600 videos? I don't know. It seemed like I should be like at 150 videos. So anyway, but thank you all for making this channel very, very successful. So again, there's Jeff Bezos. I tell you, if it was a pissing contest, huh? Oh well, I can kind of hear that 007 theme music in my ear right now, or in my head right now. Okay. Now, as I was saying yesterday, please leave those children alone. Please leave them alone. Those kids didn't do anything to ask for that. But there she is, all up in a video. You can see the kids are looking away, trying to divert their eyes lest they should ruin their corneas at such a young age. Do you know what being up close could do to the optic nerves? And those poor kids. I think that they should pass a law that prohibits the royals for I couldn't say proselytizing because it's not about religion, but they're recruiting. They're trying to indoctrinate these kids to follow the monarchy, and it's just not fair. And I know this is triggering, but y'all remember this one. The little girl is like, ugh, you know, why me? Look at the way the kids are. You got these adults and cameras, and even worse, Camilla. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine that? She will haunt your dreams. You're a kid. You're minding your business. You're in the classroom, you know, and you're doing what kids always do. You're just looking for coloring books and chalk and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden, without warning, right? Who does that to a child? Who does that? Creeping up on them with cameras and stuff. Yeah, that's not fair, I tell you. It's just not fair. And then, of course, remember she was like pinching at her sleeve like she didn't want to touch her. There's only one way to stop this. I wish people would call them out for this, but they won't because the media, they love those photos and stuff like that. But I think it's disgusting. I think the days of politicians kissing everybody's baby and having people like her coming to classrooms just for photos. I think they should stop doing that. When people show you who they are, believe them. Maya Angelou, Camilla, you are no Diana, definitely. That was a quote from one of the squatties. Yeah, poor kid. Poor kid. Duchess of Cornwall breaks down in tears after hearing women's stories of domestic abuse. Remember that? Remember how she started trying to pretend like she was all choked up and she was so devastated. Oh, she was just inconsolable. But that isn't that what happened to Diana? Isn't that what happened to Diana? But for the fact that she was part of all that, then poor Diana might still be here. But it was the plotting and scheming. And the truth is they probably laughed about it. They were having a good time. They were having a good time. And now that they have each other, they're not even living in the same house. They're not even living in the same house. Do you remember the shock after the coronation? Charles went, and wait, Camilla went to her house and Charles went to his house. What was it all about if you were going to end up going your separate ways? They went to the coronation, and then Camilla went to her house, and he went to his house. How can those who mourned for Diana betray her now by crowning the woman who stole her husband, her throne, and her sanity? That's what it comes down to. That was what someone said just before the coronation. And then this sacrilege, remember that? Before the coronation, they actually showed a picture of them side by side like they were friends. Like they were friends. Because she selected Diana's designer to design her gown for the trip to Germany. But I like what he did though, because the gown she had looked like it was covered with barbed wire. So, anyway, I guess the moral of the story is when you pretend like you cry, sometimes you look like a silky chicken. I think Confucius said that. Yeah. When you pretend like you cry, sometimes you look like a silky chicken, Confucius said. Or if you're happy and you know it, you're Ernest Borgnine. If you're happy and you know it, you look like Ernest Borgnine. If you're happy and you know it, then Ernest Borgnine really shows it. If you're happy and you know it, you look like Ernest Borgnine. If you're happy and you know it, then you look like Lauren Green. If you're happy and you know it, you look like Lauren Green. I know I'm being silly now. Let me keep going. So, more than 50 Windrush victims have died while waiting for compensation, government admits. Campaigners have called for the Windrush payout scheme to be improved for Rishi Sunak. I'm sorry, after Rishi Sunak announced new compensation plans for victims of the Horizon IT scandal. But what about the Windrush? Now, for those of you that aren't familiar, the Windrush were people that lived in the Caribbean. I think weren't some from Africa. Anyway, they wanted people of color to share the burden of rebuilding the motherland. In other words, to rebuild the economy of the United Kingdom after World War II. So they brought in shiploads of people of color. And then at some point, the Home Office, realizing that these people were reaching retirement age, decided, oh, Lord Jesus is a fire. They decided to claim that records were lost, and we don't know that these people came to the United Kingdom at a time when the British Empire means that everyone who came there were automatically citizens, right? So, since the decline of the British Empire, since there has been independence across the old empire, and now you have a commonwealth, well, as members of the commonwealth, you're not automatically eligible to even visit, let alone um, assume that you have citizenship. So, in other words, I think I'm confusing this for you guys, but I mean, some of you know when black people came there from the Caribbean and other places, they were citizens of the United Kingdom because they were part of the empire. But when there was no longer an empire and it became a commonwealth, those people who worked and paid taxes and contributed to the rebuilding of Britain, contributed to the economy, and even gave birth to children, they were suddenly stripped of their pensions, and in some case, stripped of their citizenship because there was no record. There was no records. So why would we pay out 10, 20 years of pension checks to people who we cannot account for? The records were destroyed deliberately, if you ask me. So these people, not only in some cases do they not even have a country, they have to fight for the smallest things and the biggest things. like their pension or benefits from the state or the local councils, and they have to fight to stay in the country. And old Martin Luther Cambridge, remember him? When he went to the unveiling of the Windrush statue, what an insult. That was that day he had that I had a scheme speech, right? I had a scheme. He went there so that he can be photographed with black people. And then, of course, when you're dealing with the royal family, it's not enough to insult people by showing up with nothing, like, some type of compensation. But he shows up with Kate. They unveil the statue. He gives like this speech of platitudes and word salad and everything. Some people decided to boycott the event. One of the reasons why is because they used the royal rota. The royal rota is white. This is an event for black people, right? To celebrate the contribution of the Windrush people. But yet, black journalists, as few as there are, were excluded from covering this event because the royal rota wanted to exercise their exclusivity. In other words, the friendly voices of the royal rota, who provide no objectivity or pushback, were the only ones allowed to cover the event. Now, if there wasn't a royal, then the event would have been covered like any event in the United States. We wouldn't have had the White House press corps. We would have just had the press. But because it involved the royal family, that excludes black journalists because there are no black journalists that are in the royal rota. The royal rota is the gatekeepers. They keep the rest of the journalists out. So there you have the Duke of Windrush, Martin Luther Cambridge. That old Martin Luther Cambridge, he don't like injustice. He won't settle for injustice. He loves black people. That Martin Luther Cambridge, he don't like cotton, but he loves black people. That Martin Luther Cambridge. And then the greatest insult of them all, Kate shows up. Well, I'll let you look at the caption yourself. Go ahead, read that. Go on. Let me know when you get to the part that jumps out. The part where it says, Duchess of Cambridge revisits her favorite white power suit. Let that sink in. You go to an event for black people wearing your favorite white power suit. I'm just glad she didn't wear the hat. I'm just glad she didn't wear a hat, because if she would have wore a hat, I can only imagine how that would have worked out. If she would have wore a hat, she would have set back race relations by 100 years. Shirley Kearney, I don't know if you just got here, but that was kind of what we were talking about earlier. That is what we were kind of talking about earlier. That all is not well. But yeah, that is what we were alluding to. Windrush statue is offensive. No wonder people are boycotting it. Prince William attended the unveiling, though not many black journalists were invited. I don't think there were any. Samuel Beaver King MBE. Oh, Samuel Beaver King MBE is the reason we know to celebrate the legacy of the Windrush legacy. Over 134,000 West Indies Caribbean men and women enlisted to serve in World War II. We remember the service made for uh, King George the Sixth, is it? And country, the families who made a life in England: Lillian Bader, Samuel B. King, Leary Constantine, Ulrich Cross, and all our ancestors who have paved our way today. Oh my God, that red hurts my eyes. I'm not even going to bother with that. Oh, my eyes are hurting. Let me just go. I can't even see that. And there's, I forget the actress name, but she did like a kids television show. The one over there with that necklace on, I forget her name, but she's at everything. Isn't she one of the Order of the Garter people? I think she's one of the Order of the Garter people. But yeah, she was there. She has one of those honors. So one thing that Pedo has said, and it has never been wrong. Pedo said, when you take those gifts, you got to show up. If you accept those honors, they expect you to defend the royal family. And right there, let me see, campaign to abolish. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Many black journalists were excluded, notably Prince William attended. What if more black journalists had been permitted to attend? The coverage could have been different, balanced, and truly elevated. Yeah, evaluated. Okay, it would have been something else. Uh, okay. Oh yeah, remember that when they went to on the Caribbean tour? And one thing about the Caribbean tour that was interesting, they had stopped they were deporting the Windrush people. They had stopped deporting people because of the tour of the Caribbean. And then once Will and Kate had sufficiently lost half the Caribbean and came back home, then they intended to continue deporting people. And people have been deported. And some people have like gone on vacation only to return or try to return to Britain, and they find out that they can't return, that they're stuck, that they can't return because they don't see you as an actual citizen or subject, rather. Bittersweet victory as cancer sufferer Lewin Williams to stay in the UK, but only until 2025. So this guy right here, there was a big petition to allow him to stay. They were going to deport him, even though he was suffering from cancer. After 3 years of refusals, the Home Office had granted Llewellyn, I'm sorry, not Llewellyn, but Lewin permission to stay in the UK until 2025. In other words, until he's no longer alive. They're probably, I think he's like 74, maybe 76 years old, the same age as Charles, I bet. And yet, this person who has helped rebuild and contribute to Britain was threatened with deportation because they said that he cannot uh, prove his citizenship or being a subject or whatever you want to call it. Such is the plight of the Windrush. There's no reason why masses of people have been threatened with deportation and or unable to collect the benefits that they work for. And at the same time, you got people, blonde, blue-eyed people coming from um what's that place? Um Ukraine. You have people coming from Ukraine, and the government is paying tens of thousands of pounds per family to help them settle in the UK, paying people to bring them into their private homes as guests of the British government. But that's because they're white. But if you're black, stay back. If you're white, you're all right. That's the policy. That is the policy. We had a similar policy here in the United States. They would take anybody from Europe, right? When they were letting people come through Ellis Island by the tens of thousands, long as you were white, you could come here. But if you look at those photos from Ellis Island, very few people going through Ellis Island were black. Very few. There might be a couple of odd photos here and there, but for the most part, they were white people. I guess they figured, well, we got enough of them, so we don't want no more black people here. Home Office refuses appeal. Yeah, this is while they were still refusing. Home Office refused appeal to Lewin Williams 72. Well, this was much longer ago, of course. Cancer patient to stay in the UK, Birmingham Live. Royal family is expecting to be welcomed with open arms and something. Anyway, I don't know what that means. But the Windrush statue is offensive. Okay, we did that one already. Oh, yeah, Best Nadine White has sponsored this monument while continuing to deny the existence of institutional racism. You tell it, girl. Now, this is what made me think of Kate. Remember I said an article made me think of Kate? Most women couldn't cope without true friends. So why has it taken me until 45 to realize I need them too? I don't even have to say anything else, do I? I don't have to add nothing to that. To date, we cannot establish that Kate has a good girlfriend. Not one. She's not friends with Beatrice and Eugenie. As a matter of fact, it's rare that she's ever in the company of any other woman in the royal family. Even Ford Fiesta, who hasn't gone to see her, I don't think Ford Fiesta has publicly acknowledged that she's in hospital or anything else for that matter. I'm pretty sure that Sophie sees Kate on a need to see basis. In other words, when they're doing those family engagements. But other than that, I don't think there's much connection there. Although Sophie has been trying to charm Willie because Willie is going to be king, and Sophie and Eddie are going to need the support of the sovereign. And knowing how unpredictable Willie is, you better try to amuse him. You better. If I was you, I would. We are unconquered. The team made us proud with a silver medal at the just concluded second edition of the National Para Games. How do you say it? Abuja? But anyway, you guys, just so you know, little reminder, the Invictus Games continue. It's not just the big international gathering, but there are activities that go on all over the place, and they post about it on social media. But it's not just a one-time thing. It's other parts and components to it. So, and of course, we all love Team Nigeria. They had so much spirit at the Invictus game, Dusseldorf. Okay, and again, there we go. I'm going to close with, oh, wait, that was the answer. Oh, take a look here. Edwina is in South Africa. Edwina is in South Africa. And you know, when I saw this, I said, no wonder Charles didn't want to give up that title because, the Duke of Edinburgh was very popular. Philip was very popular. And this kind of puts Philip back in competition with Charles all over again, doesn't it? Huh? I mean, not really, because Philip, of course, is dead. But when you think about it, when the papers say the Duke of Edinburgh is here, I'm pretty sure Charles kind of feels a certain way about it. Like, oh, we're back to that again. But yeah, so, and you can see he's smiling because he loves that title. And of course, President, what's his name? Amaposa, whatever his name is, President of South Africa. Um, you can tell he's entertaining him with his best um, Louis Armstrong impersonation. I see trees of green, red ones too. Give me some more money to stick in my shoe. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. You know, whenever they meet, money exchanges hand, right? I went for a ride in a gold carriage too. I got in carefully. They stepped on my shoe. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky. The last time I met Kate, she touched my thigh. Oh boy. So yeah, um, he loves the royals. He loves the royal family. Had a state visit for him and everything. Right, Mr. President? Oh yeah. Okay. So anyway, with that, you guys, I am done. Thank you so much for joining us. Um, Let me see. Thank you, Connie Balmer, Carolita Simone, Black Queen, Legs, Sub Us TV, Legs, B. Martim, Tina Carroll, Black Queen, YM Droid, B. Martim. Thank you all so much. And thank you, Deborah, for the Cash App. And let me see here. Okay. I think that was everybody. But anyway, yes, thank you so much for supporting Royal Sussex. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space, the safest space I could think of. And let me see. And of course, as usual, we end with our queens. Where are they? There we go. There we go. We end with our queens. And not self-styled or made up as Carolyn Graham would have you believe. Next, they'll be saying Aretha Franklin wasn't a queen. And we all know Aretha Franklin was a queen. Right? Or next they'll be saying that that Edward's not a queen. And we all know he's a queen. So okay. So thank you very much. And I am going to, oh yeah, we're going to have a word of the day, aren't we? Let me see what I got. Find some pearls of wisdom to close the day with. Let me see. Some wise word of the day. Wise word of the day. Let me see. Oh, I like this one. Believe and act as if we're impossible. I'm sorry. One more time. Believe and act as if it were impossible to fail. That is from Charles Kittering. Believe and act as if it were impossible to fail. Or how about this? I believe, and therefore anything is possible. I like that. Everything is possible when you believe in yourself. I would say that's pretty good. Okay, one last one for the road. Now that one's too corny. Let me see. Uh huh? Does that make sense? Blessed are the single hearted, for they shall enjoy much peace. I don't think I like that one. Okay, the practice of peace and reconciliation is one of the most vital and artistic of human actions. Here, here. All right. And we're done. And so, good night. God bless. Love you guys. I will see you all tomorrow. And let me see. Oh, yeah. And cue to the Ginger Avenger. Oh, yeah. Oh, man.